Okay, today's 3-4. It's about graphs, transformations, and we're gonna really look at transformations from the parent function to these equations that you're gonna be responsible for graphing. You guys did this last year, but we're gonna build on it. They're gonna get a little bit more deeper, a little bit more rigorous than what you did last year. First of all, you better know these parent functions. You better know what the equation looks like and the shape of it, and how to get it, how to graph it, and what it should look like. The two that we're not going to really do, but you should know, are the constant function and the identity function, which is just your linear function, okay? We're going to concentrate mostly on the absolute value function, which looks like a V. We did this on our last test, the greatest integer function, the quadratic function for sure. You should be professional at that one. We have the cubic function when you see an x cubed. The reciprocal function, you're going to do that a little bit, not too much. This one, the square root function, some of you guys didn't know what the square root looked like. And the cube root function. You should know that kind of looks like a snake, okay? Reminds me of a snake. So if I gave you an equation like this one, 2/3 absolute value 6 minus 2x minus 2, you're going to be able to graph that. You should know what the shape of it is. And I'm going to show you how to graph this without using a calculator. The first thing is we need to talk about, how do you get the parent function? Well, you want to look at the rule. For example, y equals x squared. So if you had a question like number 1, it says y equals negative 2x minus 3 squared plus 2.
Could I borrow Kira?
Sure. You want to know what the parent function is. What is the parent function of this? What is it? Y equals x squared. So we know it as y equals x squared. Forget all the other stuff that's in front, inside, after. But what everyone should be able to do is make a simple t-chart and plot the basics. What are the basics that I'm talking about? These 5 points. You should all be able to generate these 5 ordered pairs. If you have the squared function, you're squaring these x values. So you get 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. Everyone should be able to do that, right? If you can't do that, I'm gonna have a hard time telling you what to do with the -2, the -3, and the +2 here. Let alone when it gets crazy like this, okay? So step 1 is you should be proficient on each of these parent functions and how to get the shape. So what if you saw y equals x cubed? You would take your t-chart and you would plug in -3, -2, -1, 0, 1. You don't even have to do this many, but do at least from here to here, these 5. That's what I'm looking for. So you would cube these. You'd get -8, -1, 0, 1, and 8. Everyone can do that, right? Okay, good. That's step 1. Now, let's talk about the basic transformations. First of all, I want you to look at this formula right here. F of x is equal to C, function A, parenthesis x minus b. I want you to write this down like that. I want you to write this down. This is what I want you to memorize.
Where you guys write
You can write at the top of any paper, I don't care. Just write this down. This is important. It's on the notes. It's actually right here. It's actually right here in the back of the notes. Okay, but highlight it. Make sure you all understand. So, see this F right here? This F in this parenthesis right here. What that is either gonna be the absolute value function, it's gonna be the square root function, it's gonna be the cube root, and so forth. It could be x squared. Are you with me? You're gonna see numbers in front of the parenthesis or absolute value or the radical. You're gonna see a number inside, you're gonna see another number inside possibly, and a number after. You need to know what number I'm talking about. So for example, if I gave you an equation, f of x equals a 2 and then square root 3x minus 9, my pen is going bad. Okay, so you need to know what, remember my rule is, it goes like this. It goes C, F, A, X minus B, and then plus D. You need to know what each of these numbers is that I'm talking about, because you have to do it in this order. The A value is where you start. That is the number inside of the grouping symbol. So if I gave you this problem or this, the A value would be 3. The A value would be -2. Okay? The C value is 2, and the C value here is 1/2. Question for you, what's the B value? The D value I'm going to tell you is -4 and 6. But what's the B value that I'm talking about?
Take out the 4.
Listen to Courtney. What'd she say?
Take out the A.
Take out the A. The B value is not -9. It's not. And the B value is not -4. Look at this right here. See how I have the A value separate? That's when you can tell me when what the B value is. So for this problem right here, what is the A value and what is the B value? You would have to, step 1, is you have to pull this 3 out. It has to be by itself. And some people were asking me, well, how do you pull the A value out? You're going to divide this. 3 goes into -9, -3 times. So if I asked you, what is the A value? It is 3. That you're right. But the B value is -3. You're going to shift this graph 3 units right. What's the C value? It's 2. And what's the D value? It's -4. Okay? What about this one? What would you say these are? The C value is 1/2. The A value is -2. And the B value is +2. -2 times 2 is -4. Okay? All right, so now let's talk about these transformations, which you've already learned. You always start with the A value. This is your A value. If A has a negative in front of it, a negative is a reflection over the y-axis. A negative in front is a reflection over the x-axis. Okay? Now see this A value right here in B. These two numbers affect the x value. When I talk about the x value, I'm talking about when you did your parent function, these x values right here. These x values, the -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So, what you do here is you flip this number. I'm not talking about the negative, I'm talking about the 2. You will flip this. A is going to be flipped. You flip it first, flip A, and then if that number is less than 1, we say it's a horizontal compression. Compression by a factor of 1/2. If A, after you flip it, is greater than 1, we say it's a horizontal stretch. Okay, so, go back over it. You take If the A value, start in the middle, inside. If A is negative, it's a reflection over the x-axis. You take that number, you flip it, you get a half. If it's less than 1, it's a horizontal compression. If it's greater than 1, when you flip it, it's a horizontal stretch. Horizontal must be incorporated in your statement. Horizontal stretch or compression. Now, how do you do a horizontal stretch or compression? What you do is you flip this number, so you get 1 over 2. You will multiply your x values by negative 1/2. All of your x values get multiplied by negative 1/2. Next is B. Here's your B value. You're going to move this horizontally opposite of whatever that number is. So you would shift this horizontally 2 units left. This is a horizontal shift, 2 units left. It's the opposite of what it is. Now, how do you do this horizontal shift? You're going to add the opposite to this x value. So after you multiplied everything by negative 1/2, you'll then subtract 2. 2 units to the left. Then you move out here. This number right here is your C value. C goes next. This, if C is greater than 1, it's a vertical stretch by whatever that number is. If C is less than 1, it's a vertical compression. It'll flatten your graph. So whatever you do here, you take your Y value now and you'll multiply it by that number. Take Y and multiply it by that number. And the last thing, this is going to be a vertical shift up or down, and you just add that to the Y value of whatever you got. So you're going to add 6 units to the Y value. Okay? So let's look at your homework. Look at question. I want to do question number 2 with you. Number 2 is comparable to what's going to be on your test. Number 2. Okay, so we look at number 2, and I want you to be able to describe all of the transformations. So step 1 is we need to fix this problem. It's messed up. It is totally messed up. My A is in the wrong spot. Let's fix it first. So what would be the first step in fixing this? Yep. You're going to switch this and this around and make it negative 2x plus 6. That's step 1 for this problem. Step 2, is the A value out? Is it sitting by itself? No, it's not, because we won't know what B is. B is not 6. So this is your A value right here. A is negative 2. I know what C is and I know what D is, but I'm not sure about B. How do you get the B value? You have to pull out a negative 2, and you get x minus 3. So, A, that's your A value. This is your B value. This is your C value, and this is your D value. A and B affect the x values of your T-chart. These two. C and D affect your Y values. Okay? So, before I even do anything, I need to know what's the parent function? Where did this generate from? Where did this equation come from? So you're going to write y equals the absolute value of x. Can y'all do that? All right, now, in order, I would like to describe the transformations. I gave you 4 lines for each of these. Each one, you're going to do A, then B, then C, then D, in that order. If you do it in the correct order on your test, you get an extra point. It's not a bonus, but that counts for one item that you need to know. You need to know the order. So we start with this. The first, if there's a negative inside with the x, it's a reflection over the y-axis. And we'll set x. It's a reflection over the y-axis. What do you do with 2? You
Horizontal.
flip it, and what do you get?
Horizontal stretch.
And it's gonna be not a horizontal stretch, a horizontal
Compression.
compression by a factor of 1/2. Why is it a horizontal compression? Because when you flip that number, when you flip it, you get 1/2. So A is 1/2. It's less than 1, it's a compression, horizontal compression. And I'm okay with HC, if you want to abbreviate HC. Okay, is everyone cool with A? Now, if you were to graph this problem by hand, what I would do is I would take my x values and multiply them all by negative 1/2. The next thing, what's B? You could say horizontally shift it 3 units right. I'm okay with 3 right. 3 right, I know it's horizontal. When you go right, left and right, you're moving it horizontally. Okay, next, C. Is the C value less than 1? 2/3 is less than 1. So you're gonna say vertical compression by 2/3. Now, how would you do this one? You multiply the y value by 2/3. And the last thing, you're gonna go 2 units down. You're gonna subtract 2 from the y values. So is everyone cool with this one? Okay, let me see you do number 3 on your own. Let's compare our answers. Trevor? Let's do number 3. Okay, who's gonna give me A? What's the parent function? Y equals x, y, don't just say x squared, y equals x squared. I want 2 letters, x and y. X and y. Okay, what's your first step? Okay, we did that, we took the 2 out. Horizontal what? Yep, by what? By 1/2, good job. Horizontal compression by 1/2. Then what are you gonna say? That's A. This is your A value, A first. Then what? 2 units, right, good. Then what? What's this negative gonna do? Reflect over x-axis. And what about the 1/4? Vertical compression by 1/4. And the last thing. Down 1. So in questions 1 through 9, that's what you have to do for me. For 11, or not 11, 10 through 15, I'm going to give you the parent function and I'm going to tell you what I want you to do to it, and I want to see if you can come up with the correct equation. Okay? And the back 4, you're going to have to give me an equation, or I'm sorry, a graph. Now, I want you to look at your notes, and I'm going to walk you through this, how to graph one of those on the back page. I'm going to walk you through how to do it without a calculator. It's amazing. So, help me out. What's step 1? What's step 1? What are you going to do? Wait. Step 1. We can graph the parent function. This is where the parent, we're going to write the parent function right here. The parent function is y equals, what is the parent function? Absolute value of x. This is the part everybody should know. I want 5 good points. What 5 good points are you going to give me? -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And what's the absolute value of these? 2, 1, 0, 1, 2. If you want, I'm not making you graph the parent function, but if you would like to, go ahead. Here's your parent function. Okay? Now pull out, I want you to all pull out your X value, or your A value. Miss Audia? Sure. Fine. Sydney, you're leaving in 2 minutes.
I was going down this.
Can you wait?
Oh yeah, I'll wait till you're done.
Okay. All right, so everyone, that's the parent function. This won't take long. Next, we're gonna pull out the A value. When you pull this A value out, tell me what your equation looks like. -2, absolute value, 1/3, parenthesis. This is the tough part for a lot of people. X minus 3, good job. You guys didn't have a hard time with that. You do -1 divided by 1/3, so you have to flip it and multiply. That's how you get that. So now, everybody, this is your A value, this is your B value, this is your C value, and this is your D value. We start with A. What do we do with A? We will flip this number. If you flip 1/3, what do you get? 3. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna multiply the X value by 3. Okay? You flip this number, flip it, 1/3 becomes 3. I want you to all take the X values and multiply them all by 3. So you get -6, -3, 0, 3, and 6. Is everybody cool with that? All right, keep the Y values the same. This is a process that I do. The next thing, you're gonna go to B. So we first do A, then we do B. What do you do with -3? You're gonna take these X values now, and we're gonna add 3, because it's the opposite. These two are the ones that are the opposite. So you're gonna shift your graph 3 units right by adding 3 to these. Can you tell me what my new X values are gonna be? If you added 3 here, what did you get? -3, add 3, you get 0, 3, 6, 9, right? Okay, next, go to C. C tells us to multiply the Y value by that same number. Don't change these two, only flip and change the sign of this. So you're gonna take your Y values now, and you're gonna multiply them by -2. Which Y values am I talking about? These ones right here. Multiply them by -2. What do you get? Notice how I'm putting my finger over the X's, because it's very easy to grab the wrong number. So with this, when I multiply these by -2, it's so much easier to do it like that. Is everyone okay with that? Now I'm gonna copy my X's. I'm done with them. And the last thing you're gonna do, you're gonna take your Y value that I just got, and what am I gonna do with it? Add 4, shift 4 units up. So what do I get by adding 4 to these? Add 4 to all these. 0, 2, 4, 2, 0, right? Is everyone cool with that? Add 4? Okay, keeping my X's the same. Now I want you to graph these last 5 ordered pairs. Over 3 up 0, over 0 up 2, over 3, 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3, 4, over 6, up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 9, 0 is off my page there, but it's there, and graphing it. Guess what? I have all of the transformations perfect. Now I'm gonna prove to you, I'm gonna use my graphing calculator and I'm gonna check my work. So I have negative, I'm gonna type in the calculator. -2, math, num, abs, and then parenthesis, 1 divided by 3, and then times X minus 3, parenthesis, parenthesis, and then plus 4. So all I'm doing is typing my equation in. I'm gonna hit graph. Tell me if this looks like what we just did.
Yeah.
Does it? Now let's verify. Let's look at our table. Let's hit second table and let's compare our points. Let's see if we have all these points right. Check this out. -3, you have this, -3, 0. How about 0, 2? Boy, we're smart. How about 3, 4? And how about 6, 2? And how about 9, 0? Is that cool?
She's the beast.
Isn't it amazing?
Just mind blowing.
Okay, so, A, flip it and multiply that by the x value. Then add the opposite to the x value. Then multiply the y value, and then add that to the y value, and you're good. You can graph those last 4 problems, okay? Sydney, you go. You have the homework. And you can, Colin, you can hit stop. Your homework is on that